I'm excited for the class tonight. I'm going to give everybody a few minutes to jump on. If you're watching the recording, welcome. Just fast forward a little bit and we'll get started in just a few minutes. If you're hopping in, just say hey, introduce yourself. Got tons of oils out here to tell you guys about. I got to get them a little bit more organized. Hey Michelle, how are you? Glad you could join in. All right, hey Rochelle, hey everyone. We'll get started in probably another minute. Hope you guys had a great day. Hey Sarah. Oh great. Teaching your first class on Thursday, that's awesome. Good luck to you. I know you'll do great. Hey Patricia. Hey Rachel, hey Amy, and Ashley. Yay, I'm excited. You're excited. Okay, it's about 8:32. Let me get my notes up here. My son spilled water all over my notes, so it'll be okay. I just need him to refer to keep me on task. Hey Tina, I'm so glad you got on live. I know that you were worried about missing it, but I usually try to post in the group to make sure everybody knows that I'm on. So I'm just going to go ahead and jump right in. Let me turn off my music here. Okay, so I'm glad to be with you guys tonight. I'm excited about this topic because I feel like that it's just one that so many people can benefit. It's one that a lot of people don't really realize once they get, if you're new to oils, or, if you've just got them, or, sometimes if you, have been using them for a while. That was probably myself, even the first couple years. I kind of heard they could be helpful for emotional well-being and just, moodiness, whatever all of that encompasses, and just never really ventured much into that. So I was excited to learn about it, when I took it upon myself to kind of research a little bit more, and just have found it very helpful. Also, I'm going to talk about how getting better sleep and having energy, all those things kind of are one. They kind of fit together. So I was going to talk about that a little bit, and just please feel free to ask any of your questions. If you already use oils and you have a great testimony, please share it with us, because it's always great to learn from other people. And if we're talking about sleep and I don't mention something that works for you, please just comment, because I love to learn from other people. And lots of times it's, there's just so many, I guess, quote unquote, off-label uses for oils. And so I always like to learn, one more way I could use lemon or, lavender or whatever it might be. So, hey Rebecca, I'm so glad you guys are on live. I'm excited about this class. So I'm going to hop right in. If you're completely new to oils, please stay tuned to this class, but you might want to go back and watch the basics class that I did last Thursday. It's in this group. There's not too many posts either, so you should be able to find it very easily. You want to go back and check out that, because it's going to give you all the basics. Hell, it would introduce myself as well, kind of tell you a little bit more about me and how I got started with oils and everything that you need to know just as far as like the basics. So check that out if you are completely new. Hey everybody, thanks for saying hi and hopping on live. So I wanted to hop right in and just kind of talk a little bit about foundational things. We're talking about these subjects. I do feel like there are some things that they're foundational to health overall, but definitely emotional health, and obviously getting good sleep and having energy and things like that. So I wanted to to definitely talk about those, just because I feel like they can be beneficial in so many areas, but definitely these. So when you think about brain health and emotional health, many of you have probably already heard or are aware of that your gut health plays a huge part or role in your emotional health. And that might seem kind of crazy, and I understand that, because if somebody would have told me that a couple of years ago and I hadn't really been a part of this community, I might would think the same thing. But there are so many studies now and researchers are always studying the effects between our gut health and our emotional health and our overall health, honestly, but definitely emotional health. So I definitely wanted to talk and touch on that a little bit before I go into talking about the different oils and how they can be beneficial and how they work. So I wanted to talk about this little pack. And if you were in my basics class or been to a class before, you probably have heard about this. It's called the Lifelong Vitality Pack. And like I was saying, this is really foundational to overall health, but because a lot of times when your emotions are not in check and you're kind of all over the place, that means that you aren't giving your body what it needs a lot of times. And I feel like this is probably one of the best ways that you can start it. It supports your health on so many levels, but definitely can help you be a little bit more stable as far as your emotions and different things like that. So I'm not going to go through in detail more so like I did in the other class, but just wanted to mention that definitely for energy, I know we're going to talk about that later, and this is amazing for energy. I really wanted to focus on the omega component in here because, oh gosh, Marissa, I'm sorry that I had problems with this before. I'm not really sure why people's videos keep freezing. Can you try it on your computer or iPad? Sometimes that helps. And this, if you guys are having problems, I apologize again, but if you want to wait until the class is over, if you get frustrated with it, just you can watch the recording. It'll be up right after I'm done, so no worries there. It'll be saved. So the omega component in this pack specifically is great for your brain health because we know that fats are so important for our brain health. And obviously our overall health. They're the building blocks for a lot of different essential things that happen in our body. Especially I wanted to point out for women, but specifically for women that are, have just given birth or are moms of multiple children, because, and this is very interesting. I was actually studying this when I was, ran across this when I was studying for this class, that if you think about it, it makes total sense. So when you're growing a child inside you, if you're not getting the proper nutrition through your diet or through supplementation, especially when it comes to omegas, you're growing a baby that requires that to grow its brain properly. And so who else is it going to take it from? Obviously it's going to take it from you, and it's going to deplete you of those omegas. And with that being out of balance, that actually can create a little bit more of a postpartum depression kind of thing going on. So that's why it's so important to always supplement with, our food's just not the same as it was. I know if you've been on classes before, I always talk about this, but it's so true. And we simply don't eat the way we should. I don't really know anybody that eats perfectly for sure, but lots of times we need to fill in those gaps. And not only just because obviously we want more energy, we want to feel better, but simply because our body needs that. The fats are a building block to a lot of, like I said, essential things in our body. So just be aware of that. Just be aware that this is one of the best things that you can do as far as your overall health, but definitely your emotional health, obviously, as well. Next, I wanted to talk about these two products. If you can see, my computer screen's a little bit bright. So PB Assist is the first one that I was going to mention. As I was talking about gut health, a lot of people know how important it is to take a probiotic. You want to help increase those good bacteria because that is what is going to actually, help obviously your digestion, but it's going to help keep out the bad bacteria and just kind of flourish the good bacteria so that your gut can work properly. And there in turn, you can have, hopefully overall better health. So the PB Assist is actually a little bit different than a regular probiotic. So I wanted to just show you guys that. It's actually what's called double encapsulated. Oh, okay, Tina, I'm sorry. You can definitely watch afterwards. So it's double encapsulated. As you can see, it kind of is, you see a little bit of water in there. And there's actually, the capsule inside has some what's called prebiotic fibers. And that actually, I just dropped that on the floor, that actually can help feed the probiotics. So it also survives the harsh environment of your stomach. Lots of probiotics, most of them actually. The capsules are opened in your stomach, and the stomach acid actually just kills the bacteria altogether. So it kind of is null and void at that point, because it's not going to get to the intestines where it needs to get to flourish and actually do its job. So it's very important to get one that survives that stomach acid. So this one actually does, because it's double encapsulated, and it has the prebiotic fibers that help feed it and create more of the good guys, so that they can help fight off the bad and kind of keep your bacteria and gut flora healthy and happy. I'm sorry, you guys. I really don't know why it's always like that. I really do apologize. It's not anything on my end, and I don't know why some people have problems and others don't. But again, if you guys are having problems, I'm going to do a giveaway, but I will wait till about 10:30 to post that, and just to give everybody enough time to watch it after I get off. So again, I apologize. Can't help technology sometimes. So I take one of these every day with an evening meal, and I feel like it's so important to take a probiotic, like I said, not only for overall health, but just for your emotional health too. So Terrazyme is the other product that can be very, very beneficial when it comes to healthy digestion, and then in turn, of course, better emotional health as well. So Terrazyme is a little capsule that has digestive enzymes inside. And what that does, if you're not familiar with that, so you know, if we don't chew our food properly, if we eat processed food and not enough raw food that has live enzymes in it, our food isn't broken down the way it should be. And so what that means is that it's not assimilated. So we're not getting the most beneficial pieces of the food to actually feed our body and nourish it. Most of it is just kind of getting, you know, digested through, probably not properly, and just kind of eliminated. So this is very important for proper digestion. I had noticed a huge difference when I started taking it. I used to struggle with constipation a lot, and this has helped dramatically. So not only, obviously that's a whole other topic, right, digestive health, but this is great, obviously, because we know gut health is so important. And lots of times we don't chew our food properly. You know, we're in a hurry, we're busy, and so again, our body can't break it down into what's called like short chain proteins and fatty acids. So actually, what happens with that is it can leak out of your gut, and it actually gets in your bloodstream. And I know some of you have heard of probably leaky gut syndrome. That's kind of the basis of what that is, and actually go to your brain and cause issues there. And again, that affects your emotional health too. So not to get too in depth with that, but it is very important, and that's why I was talking about these are so foundational. One more thing that is foundational to overall health, but emotional health for sure, is frankincense. And you know, obviously those are supplements, and this is an oil, but I did want to group it in with that because I feel like it's so important for overall health, because frankincense has a very kind of like superpower. It can pass the blood-brain barrier, so that means it can affect you know, the cells in your brain and your neural activity a lot more than some of the other oils. All the oils can't pass the blood-brain barrier. It has to be a certain size in molecule and a lot of other different components. So very, very specific, that being frankincense can do that. So that's why it's so important to take that. I take 1 drop under my tongue every day. If you didn't want to do that, you could put it on your bottom of your feet. You could diffuse it, different things like that. It's great to support overall health, but for sure emotional health frankincense is huge with that. Okay, so let's jump right into the oils that can be great for emotional health. This is actually, I was going to talk first about the emotional aromatherapy line that's sort of new, and then I'm going to talk about some of the ones that we kind of used before that. So look how pretty this is, kind of a rainbow. This is a line that doTERRA kind of created. It's very, you know, you're not going to find these anywhere else. You know, obviously you can find lavender different places. We've talked about why that might not be the best, but this is really specific to doTERRA. You're not going to find these blends anywhere else. That's because what they did was they looked at the different oils and how they kind of affect us emotionally. They put those together so that, and they actually named them, like one of them's named Motivate. So they made it to where you can actually kind of choose your mood. You can say, you know, if you have a problem getting going, if you need to kind of get moving on something, hey, put some Motivate on. It'll actually stimulate your brain to kind of get you in action. So that's the premise behind it. They looked at like I said, they looked at the different chemical constituents of the different oils, put them together in a certain way so that, you know, it would elicit the certain, you know, mood that it says. So forgive and cheer and passion. So it's really, really cool and neat. And I've loved using these. I feel like they really do what they say they're going to do, the name, right? So the first one that we'll talk about is Motivate. And I feel like I always say this is my favorite, but this probably is the one I use the most. I'm sorry, Aunt Debbie. people are getting frustrated with technology, and I totally understand. Just if you're having problems, it's probably best to hop out and hop back in about 9:30, and I'll be done by then. I hope 45 minutes. We got this. So Motivate. If you have your Motivate, get it out and just smell. I mean, I wish you could smell this, honestly. Definitely a drawback that not having you right here so you could smell it, but this one smells a lot like just citrus and kind of minty. It has, I'll read off what it has in it, a few of the things. It has peppermint and clementine, coriander, basil, melissa, rosemary, and it has a little bit of vanilla in there. So it has a sweeter, I guess a rounder, sweeter smell because of the vanilla, but that's probably why I love it. I really love vanilla and the different blends that they have with that in there. I'm probably drawn to those more. So this one is great if you're, like, say you love caffeine and you just kind of want to, you know, steer clear of that a couple of mornings. Like, this will be great to diffuse or put on topically. You can ingest any of these, so you would definitely want to stick with diffusing is really probably the way I feel like they were meant to be used. They can definitely be used topically, and they work great that way, but I feel like they definitely smell better and they affect you faster, obviously, if you use them in a diffuser or just kind of put them in your the palm and just cup to inhale over your nose and mouth. So hard to get going, you know, need a break from caffeine. This would be your go-to for sure. So that's Motivate. The next one I had on here is Passion, and got a little red to it. It's kind of, let's see it's floral and spicy. That's how they describe this one. So it has cardamom and cinnamon and ginger and clove and sandalwood, jasmine, vanilla. This one smells really, really good too. You can definitely smell the cinnamon in this one. It smells a lot more like cinnamon than any of the other. And this is probably one of the most precious emotional blends. I think it's one of the most expensive. I mean, it's not outrageously expensive, but all those oils are very precious oils. So this one is special in that way. And it really helps to just kind of, you know, if you just kind of feel ho-hum about things, if you just really want to, you know, kind of conjure up some passion, obviously it's good in the bedroom too. So if you, you know, wanted to kind of get in the mood, or you've wanted to get your husband in the mood, that's usually not the issue. It's usually us, right? So you could diffuse some, you could put some on the bottom of your feet, or just smell it. That'd be a great way to use it. I love to use it just in my office too, or right before class, just to kind of elicit those feelings of just sharing my passion and just kind of letting that come out and not holding anything in. So that's kind of the way these were meant to be used. You know, if you want to feel passionate about something, you would grab your passion oil. So really love to use that one as well. It smells really great. Let's see, we'll do Cheer next. And it's got a yellow label because it really reminds me so much of sunshine. It just is very fresh and bright. This one is more, let's see how they described it, citrus and spice. So this has wild orange, clove, star anise, lemon myrtle, nutmeg, vanilla. So it's an interesting, you know, scent. If you were to, you know, think about what that would smell like, it's kind of hard to describe. It is very citrusy, so I love that. I love any of the citrus oils, but this one, obviously the name, I mean, cheer, right? If you just want to feel happier, you want to feel kind of, you know, if you're sad, if you just kind of feel in a fog, this is a great one to use. Again, diffused, or just I love to put a little on my wrist. That way I can kind of it gets absorbed topically, but you can also just kind of stiff your wrist every now and then, and you get the aromatic benefits that way too. So Cheer is another one that I love to use. And really the ones that I've talked about so far are one of the ones that you want to use if you just need a boost. Like they're more of the, I guess, like the happier oils. And then the next ones I'll talk about are more like if you're more like depressed or you're kind of really in a slump that way, these are probably the ones that you would want to turn to. And it's interesting how the colors kind of elicit that. They're more cool colors. So the first one I'll talk about in this kind of the last three of this emotional aromatherapy line is Forgive. So this one has a lot of like herbs and trees. This is probably one of the ones that doesn't smell as good as the other ones, but I love to use it. I actually use it sometimes at night for sleep. It's great to kind of calms you. A lot of the herbs and the tree oils really help to calm you. So this one definitely does that as well. Hey Sarah, I'm sorry yours keeps freezing up. Just hop back in at 9:30 and you can watch the recording. So Forgive, obviously the name, you know, if you were kind of holding something back, if you just felt like you were having a hard time letting something go as far as just, you know, feeling angry toward a person. I mean, honestly, like who doesn't feel like that? I mean, we all feel like that sometimes. And I grab the Forgive oil, take a deep breath, and honestly, it's amazing. Like you kind of think this is just silly, but you know, it really, when you breathe these plant oils in, it actually goes straight to your limbic system. I talked about this in the basics class, but it really does create a different feeling. Like you just feel more calm, you feel more just in control of your emotions. You just, it's amazing to feel that way. So I do encourage you, if you have oils, to try it for this reason. You know, if you don't have the emotional line, we'll talk about some of the other basic ones that you might have, that how you can use them. But Forgive is kind of self-explanatory. So, you know, pull that one out next time you feel angry towards someone or just you can't let it go. This will help that. Okay, so next is Console. And this one was described as floral and woodsy. So this one has frankincense and patchouli, ylang ylang, amyris, sandalwood. It has a little bit of rose in it too. This one, it smells very floral. I wasn't completely sold on this scent at first, but it smells a lot better diffused. It's very strong if you smell it straight from the bottle. So diffusing this one is a really great idea, especially at night. I love to do this one. So if you're just sad, if you're overwhelmed, this is kind of like a hug in a bottle. You know, if you just need a hug, you've had one of those days, this is a great one to use for that. So Console is a great another tool to have in your toolbox. Peace is the last in the emotional aromatherapy line, and this one is probably one of my favorites of these last three that I talked about. I use this one more than any of the other ones. This one probably smells, oh, it smells so good. It has vetiver and lavender. It has ylang ylang too. It has frankincense and marjoram. Some of the definitely more grounding and calming oils. So this one, if you've been around and you know, you've kind of been in the essential oil world for a while, you might have heard of the Peaceful Child blend. This is extremely very similar to that. And the Peaceful Child blend was actually created by a mom. Not going to be compliant for a few seconds. Her son had severe autism. He had tics and OCD, lots of different things that were very debilitating. Like he couldn't go to school, he couldn't function, and none of the things that the doctors were recommending were really working. So she kind of took it in her own hands. She researched a lot of the oils and what they can do. She actually made that blend, Peaceful Child, through that and diet changes, she was actually able to, pretty much heal him of those things. And now he's kind of, highly functioning and goes to school and different things like that. So huge, I'm sure that completely changed their life. And so a lot of other moms love to use Peaceful Child. And so this is very, very similar to that. And so I love to use this when, obviously peace, when you just want to feel more peace, but maybe you want your kids to feel more peace. So this one is probably one of the ones that will calm my kids down the fastest. And just a side note on kind of how you use these, I've talked about, aromatic use. You can put them in the diffuser, you can put them on topically, and you kind of get the aromatic benefits that way. But probably the fastest way, other than just inhaling them, is putting them on topically. Right back here it's called the, I forgot what the name of it was, the little triangle kind of at the base of your skull. That is the best place to put them if you really want to, help with emotional benefits. So, hey Danielle, glad you could join. So that is a great place to put them. That's why I usually put them on my kids if they're like really out of control and I need them to calm down fast. So that is kind of the emotional aromatherapy line. So that's pretty new. That's pretty, I think within probably the last year and a half, they introduced that. So before then, yes, Rebecca, I know you sing at home all the time with your kids. I'm sure you're like using that one a good bit, right? So before this, there was basically about 4 different oils that they used, and they're kind of called the mood oils. And so I wanted to talk about those next. But first, I did want to mention, and I don't think I have any up here. All of these, the emotional oils, come in bottles, so you can put them in the diffuser, but you can use them topically as well. But then where's a roller bottle? Oh, come on. I don't even have a roller bottle up here. Yes, I do. Sorry. So all the emotional aromatherapy line comes in a roller bottle just like this. And now they're actually going to come with the stainless steel roller bottles, which are great. I love those. So if you get those from doTERRA, you can expect them to come with that great new roller top. And I'm sorry, Danielle. A lot of people are having viewing issues, and I apologize. Just hop back off and just wait till about 9:30, and it'll post in this group, and you can watch the recording. So if you wanted to get those in the Touchline, you definitely could. You could purchase those that way too. So I wanted to mention that. Okay, so the ones that were previously used, and still are, of course, I wanted to definitely go over those. So Balance is one of the main mood oils that most people are more familiar with. Balance is it's called a grounding blend. So it has a lot of the tree oils in it, and it kind of smells like a spa to me. It has like spruce and rosewood, and it has frankincense and blue tansy. So it's actually blue in color. You can't really see it on there on my hand, but somebody actually asked me one time and that she didn't think they were pure oils because it was blue in color, but actually blue tansy is blue. So that's why it's the color. But this is probably, like I said, one of the most used of the original, I guess, mood oils. This one is great for anxiety and depression and different things like that. Anxious feelings, like this one will really help you to just remain kind of grounded and calm. I like to use it in the morning. I kind of do a little stretching / yoga routine every morning and have my devotion. So I love to use it during that time. It's great to use in the morning, and honestly, it just makes you kind of just more even keel and just happier throughout the day. So I really, really love to use it in the morning, but obviously throughout the day it's great to use. This is great for anybody really, but I find especially women, we just tend to be on edge a little bit. I mean, we need something to kind of break that tenseness that we sometimes have. We want to control everything, and we want everything to go our way, and maybe I'm just talking about me. Maybe y'all don't have that problem, but Balance can definitely help kind of take the edge off, and a lot of people have found very great success in this if they wanted to cut back on their medications for anxiety. So definitely, if you have those issues and nothing, obviously I'm not shaming anybody that's on medication. I know that it can be very beneficial and very needed in certain situations, but if you're one of those people that you feel like you didn't have any other options, I want to say please try this, because I feel like it can be very, very helpful, and it's not going to hurt anything. Just think about it that way. You can just add that in, keep doing what you're doing, and definitely definitely see how it affects you. Don't stop taking your medication. I'm a pharmacist. Do not do that. Don't do that. Yeah, we all have that problem, even if we don't want to admit it. Amen, right? I'll admit it. I don't mind. Definitely like to control things a little bit too much, but that's okay. I'm working on that, and I'm using Balance. So the next mood oil is Serenity, and you're going to use it in the morning. Yeah, I think it's great to use in the morning. Some people like to use it throughout the day, but I really find that if you use it in the morning, it kind of sets the day off right anyway. So Serenity, previously known as a calming blend, now it's known as the restful blend, and I'll tell you a little bit why that changed, but when we talk about sleep. But this one is great for kind of maybe combining with Balance almost. This one is, it has like different oils in it. Like that one's more tree oils. This one has like Roman chamomile and ylang ylang and lavender. So it's definitely a sweeter smelling one, but it kind of has more of a calming effect. That has more, kind of takes the edge off. I don't know if that makes sense at all, but definitely one to use for emotional support. This one is great for people that have panic attacks. I've heard a lot of people say that. I personally don't have those, but if you did, combining this with balance or just using it by itself is a great thing to do. And we'll talk a little bit more about this when we talk about sleep. Let's see, the next one, let's see, Citrus Bliss. So this one is definitely a favorite of many. It smells basically just like a creamsicle. I mean, it has vanilla in it and all the citrus oil, so it smells great diffused. This one's one of my favorite ones to diffuse. And this one is great for just if people tend to be depressed. It's really, I mean, any of the citrus oils are great for that, but this one specifically is great for that. So you could diffuse it, or you obviously could put it on your wrist. You wouldn't ingest this one at all, but it's great for kids too. Obviously, they love the scent. So some of the other scents, depending on your child, it's great to let them smell it. So just, hey, see what you think about this. Not that they don't need the oil if they don't, respond to the smell right away, but it's great to let them use something that they are drawn to at first, at least, to kind of, you don't want to turn them off and kind of force them to use something that they don't love. So this is one of the ones that kids always gravitate towards because it smells so good. Last one in the kind of 4 original ones is the Joyful blend, or it's called Elevation, and I forgot to bring the bottle up here. And this was actually made to kind of mimic an antidepressant. And it's, like I said, I'm not being very compliant tonight, but that's okay. It's just us, right? We can do that. So that one is, I mean, it really smells like sunshine in a bottle. I mean, a lot of people, it's interesting how I wasn't necessarily drawn to the scent of it right away, but it has definitely grown on me. It has some different oils in it. Like I just said, I don't have the bottle up here, so I apologize. But it's another one that a lot of people love to use. Usually you love that oil, or you're like, I don't really know about that one. So it's definitely one just to see, because kind of smelling them and see what you're drawn to is a great way to kind of navigate through which ones do I need to use, and which ones could be most beneficial. So wanted to mention Elevation when it comes to that. Okay, so I wanted to mention some oil kind of combinations for different feelings. Obviously, I've mentioned most of those that are blends that I've talked about so far, and so these are actually single oils that you could put together if you were feeling a certain way. And the first one is oils for overwhelm. And I don't know about you, but I feel overwhelmed a lot. Actually, I used it tonight because I kind of felt overwhelmed trying to get the kids to bed, and I needed to hop on this class and just needed everything to fall in place, right? And so I actually used this blend tonight, and I really did feel a lot better after I used it. So the blend for overwhelm is bergamot, basil, and cypress. And so I wanted to kind of sell why each one of those would be in this blend, and kind of the emotional component behind each one. And while I'm on that, I wanted to mention this book. It's called Emotions and Essential Oils, and it's one of the best. I mean, I love to use this book. I refer to it a lot, especially I have one of those little scanners that you can scan and see what your body is needing at the time. And I always use this book, because a lot of times I'm like, I don't know why I need that oil. And then I turn and I read what it's about, and I'm like, oh, now I know why I need it. So, like basil, for instance. Basil is the oil of renewal, and so it will. This book will actually tell you exactly and more in detail, how it's good, and it actually has negative emotions and positive properties to it. So this book is great to have if you're kind of wanting to look more about the emotional side of oils. So I would recommend that. I think you can get it on Amazon. And let's see, I'll tell you who wrote it, if I can find it. Well, it doesn't say. I don't know why. But anyway, it's this color. You'll be able to find it. Okay, so basil is the oil of renewal, and it's probably the best one for overwhelm. And this one, it kind of smells like you would think basil would smell. It smells very much just like the fresh herb. I love to cook with this one, but it's great for emotional support too. So using that one with cypress. Cypress is obviously a more grounding oil. It's from a tree. It's the oil of flow and release. So if you hold things in, a lot of times I do that, and so a lot of women do that as well. Either do one way or the other. Either you just like spill everything, or you like to hold everything in. So this is just really helps you to kind of just release things and not hold them in. And then bergamot is actually the oil of self-love. So all of those things together, a lot of times if you're overwhelmed, you might not be loving yourself as much as you need to. So all of those put together are really a great blend for overwhelm. So you could put that in a diffuser. You could put it in the palm of your hand. That's what I did. And just kind of breathe it in a couple of good times. And then I actually put it on my chest so I could kind of smell it a little bit more. Could you post what the scanner is called and where to buy? Yes. Let me put that on here. Yes, I will post a little bit more about that scanner when I get off. Okay, so the next blend I wanted to kind of talk to you about is the transitional, a blend to help transitions. And I know even for adults, sometimes transitions are hard, especially for kids though. This is a great blend to use on them. So it has lime and balance and rosemary. So lime is actually the oil, it's called Zest for Life. So that kind of helps you, I guess, look at more of the positivity of different things going through a transition. Sorry, Renee. Yeah, watch the recording at 9:30. I'll be off. 25 minutes. I got this. So lime is part of that. Balance, we just talked about how that was kind of the grounding blend. It helps kind of ground you through that transition. And then rosemary, let's see what it was called. The oil of knowledge in transition. So rosemary is actually one of my favorite oils. It smells great. A lot of people kind of overlook this one. It's great for a lot of different things, but it's great for transitions as well. So if you were wanting to use this on your children, you could take this blend and make a little roller bottle for them to use. They could even use it at school, if your school allows that. If they're having problems like transitioning from maybe different classes, or just if maybe it's the first of the year and they have hard time transitioning to the next grade. Kids have transition issues a lot. So putting that in a little convenient roller bottle would be a great thing to do, or putting it in a diffuser maybe in the morning if they're off to school or whatnot, and help them transition into the day. So I wanted to mention those two blends. And there's lots of different ones you can look up, but I thought like those would be kind of helpful. Oh, great. Thank you for posting that, Lindsay. I appreciate that. All right, so some of the single oils I wanted to talk about. Vetiver is actually probably the best oil for grounding. It's probably one of the best oils for just calming your emotions and calming your nervous system. It's a very, very thick oil. So if you get vetiver and you have problems and you're like, it's not coming out, that's because it's extremely thick. So you can really kind of shake it in your hand. You can kind of warm it up and then get a drop out, or you can buy a dropper top. That's what I usually do to get it out quicker. But vetiver is one of the best ones for people with ADHD. It just helps to calm your nervous system when a lot of those people are just amped up a lot. So it really, really helps with that. This is in Intune, the Focus blend. So you can see why it would be great for focus. It just kind of helps calm your nervous system. Sorry guys, I apologize. I'm gonna have to figure this out before the next class. I don't know. Facebook is sabotaging me, right? No, I'm kidding. But that's very frustrating. So vetiver, you could actually, it comes in this blend. You could use it on its own before school, just kind of ground them and help them with that. They could use it during the day, or you could use it at night. That's when I mostly use it. I think this is probably the first experience I had with an oil that I could feel it actually relaxing my body. I know that sounds crazy if you've never tried it or used essential oils, but putting a couple drops on the bottom of my feet and rubbing it together, and you'll lay in bed and you'll just feel your body relax. It almost feels a little bit tingly. It is like the best feeling ever. So definitely love to use it at night. It's great for sleep. It's probably it's probably one of the strongest oils for sleep. Everybody's different, so different oils affect different people, so vetiver may not work for some people, but definitely works for me. Now, one thing with vetiver, some people say that and I guess this is a little bit into the sleep, but we're going to talk about that next. So vetiver actually puts you in REM sleep faster and for longer, obviously, during the night. And that is when you dream. So some people say they get very vivid dreams when they start using vetiver. But that's just because you probably haven't been getting, a lot of people get kind of choppy sleep and they don't get into that restful sleep. So I would say if you're having issues with that, just wait and just keep using it. And a lot of times, like I used to have dreams more so than I do now, your body just gets used to getting in that deep of a sleep and you don't necessarily have all those dreams. So that's a lot of times why people say they dream with this oil specifically. You said, Amanda said vetiver was a lifesaver today. I couldn't sleep or calm my mind. A drop in the bottom of my feet did it. I mean, really, if you have problems with that, it really is probably the top oil, I would say, to really help with calming your mind, because it helps. This one can pass the blood-brain barrier as well. And so it actually helps to calm your nervous system better than almost any other oil. So I would definitely recommend to get vetiver or try it. Okay, so I wanted to mention Breathe. Breathe is a respiratory blend, but it can help with panic attacks. You just feel overwhelmed and your chest gets tight. So I wanted to mention this. You could, kind of breathe it in. You could put on your chest for that. Breathe can be really great for just anxiousness. Melissa, I don't have that one up here. Melissa is one of the most highly prized oils. It's one of the most expensive oils, but it is probably one of the strongest and just has some of the, has more components than a lot of other oils and more constituents. That means it can work in different ways. And so it can really affect your emotional well-being and overall just really help you to I don't know, it's one of the best oils, probably up there with frankincense. We talk about how that's so good for overall health. So is Melissa. So we'll just really recommend that if you're struggling with depression especially, because it too, again, can pass the blood-brain barrier. So it's a great one, and I didn't want to not mention that. Okay, so Wild Orange. Let's see where that one is. Okay, this one, I'm sorry, guys. I apologize again. Hop back on at 9:30. So Wild Orange is the oil of abundance. And so any of the citrus oils are going to be great for mood, but this one really, really helps to just kind of lift your spirits and put you in a better mood. So that was one of the ones that a lot of people love to use. It's great for energy. We'll talk about that in a minute, how you can combine it with peppermint, but it's great. Also combined with Balance. A lot of people don't know about that combination. So Balance and Wild Orange are a great one to just help ground you, but also help just kind of uplift your mood and help with anxiousness too. And then last on here, and then we'll go to sleep, is Clary Calm. And you might be thinking, mood, but obviously mood and hormonal balance are very much related. And so Clary Calm is great for mood balance, and so obviously, hormonal balance. So obviously that would really affect your mood as well. So didn't want to not mention that one for sure. Okay, so sleep. We didn't talk about lavender, and I don't think I have the bottle over here. So lavender obviously is a great one. Petitgrain is another one that a lot of people don't think about. It's very similar to lavender, but if sometimes lavender doesn't work for people, petitgrain will. And so it's one of the newer oils too, so a lot of people aren't familiar with that one. So I wanted to mention that for sleep. Balance can be good for sleep. Serenity we talked about. And remember I said it changed names. It used to be the Calming Blend. Now it's the Restful Blend, because they kind of redid some of the ingredients in there, and they made it more of, I guess, a grounding blend. Like this is actually some of the old version, and it smells a lot sweeter. They added, I think they added hoe wood and cedarwood and vetiver. So it's actually a little bit better for sleep now than it used to be. But what they did was they created a complement for it, and they created the Serenity Restful Complex. And this is just a capsule, not very big, right there. So it's a capsule to take kind of in conjunction with using essential oils. It's just like a different, I guess, another layer of help with sleep. And this one has, it's not all essential oils. It does have lavender in it, but it has L-theanine, lemon balm, passion flower, and German chamomile. So some of these are very well studied for sleep and helping in just creating that that restfulness in your body to help you drift off and stay to sleep. But they actually did a legitimate study on this using this and the Serenity oil, And, you know, very, very great outcomes on that. Most people had a lot better sleep, a lot better quality sleep. So I can definitely attest to this. These knock me out. I mean, normally if I'm at home and everything's kind of normal, a normal night, I'm fine with just kind of applying oils and diffusing them, and I'm good. Like I sleep great. But say I'm in a hotel or I'm just having trouble going to sleep, I pop 2 of these and it's like, I don't know anything until the next morning. So these are amazing for sleep, and I just really encourage you to try those. Even if you're already using essential oils and you just feel like you kind of need something else, I feel like these work amazing. So very thankful that they made those and came up with those. And obviously vetiver, one of the top oils for sleep. We already talked about that one. So last, we've got 15 minutes. So energy. Who could use more energy? And especially a lot of times if you're having emotional issues and just, you know, whatever it might be, you're not having a lot of energy. You know, you might have that slump in energy, and obviously that is going to kind of make you feel down. And so this is all so connected, but I wanted to just talk about a few of the products that would be great for energy. Obviously we already talked about this. Probably, if somebody says they need more energy, I know that might want a quick answer, you know, or a quick fix, one that doesn't require them to take pills, but this is it. If you need more energy, this is foundational. Definitely that's probably one of the top things that I feel, you know, when I take this and when I don't, is I have more energy. And as a mom, as a woman, we have so many jobs, we have so many hats. So definitely need that extra energy, and this is foundational to that. So next thing is Mito 2 Max. And it is called the Energy and Stamina Complex. And this is something that I didn't use for a while. You know, I kind of felt like I had enough energy, but then I don't know why. Obviously who couldn't use more energy? So I kind of tried it, and now I love it. I take it every single morning. Another reason why I take this one is because it helps with brain fog so much. And just because now, I work from home, I need to be thinking clearly, and so this definitely helps with that. I take one very first thing in the morning. And also another thing with this, you can take it kind of as needed, but I find, and it's really made to work better if you were to take it every single day. And so that's what I do now, because the way that this works is, and it's actually just some, it's herbs. It's not essential oils. It's a little capsule. So it's not essential oils, but it's herbs that help actually make more mitochondria in your body. And mitochondria are what give your body energy. So that's why this has no caffeine. It doesn't have anything like that in it. It's just natural things that help your body and your cells create more energy. So it's sustained energy throughout the day. So that's why that's great. So I love Mito 2 Max, and definitely, like I said, I use it every day. Next, I wanted to mention Slim and Sassy. And this is the metabolic blend, but I feel like this is one of the ones that are great for energy too. So I wanted to mention that. This blend has grapefruit, lemon, peppermint, ginger, and cinnamon. So it's called the metabolic blend because it's great to help, you know, healthy weight loss. It can maintain weight, or if you want to lose weight, along with a healthy diet and exercise, obviously. It can help you do that, but it has peppermint in it, so it's great for energy. I feel like it definitely cuts my sugar cravings, and it helps to give me more energy as well. So a drop of this in your water, or you could actually diffuse it as well, or you could put it just on topically. Either one of those ways would be great. Next for energy, just plain peppermint. So using this in the morning or in the afternoon, a lot of times I'll diffuse it too. Or you could just put a drop in your palm and just kind of get a little quick pick-me-up. It's great for that as well. So peppermint is one that a lot of people love to use, and combined with wild orange is great to use as well. Both of those, you could put it in your hand, you could put it in the diffuser. Either one of those would be great ways to use it. They also make peppermint beadlets, and this is a great way to just get a little bit of a boost from peppermint. The effects of it, obviously, it's great just to use as a breath mint. It comes in a little, I don't know if you guys can see that. It's very, very tiny. You just kind of pop it in your mouth and break it with your teeth. So it's a great thing to have, and I like to use this one just if I'm hot. Like if it's hot outside, I might take one. It reduces your core body temperature, so it helps with, you know, if you're just hot from being outside is hot outside, or if you have hot flashes, or if you have elevated body temperature from some kind of illness. So peppermint is a great thing to use for energy as well as all those other things. Okay, Motivate, we talked about it. It's great for energy too. So I like to use that one maybe before I work out, or just in the morning to wake up. So I wanted to mention that one. Spearmint is another one that some people forget about. This one obviously is in the mint family with peppermint, but this has a smoother and a sweeter smell to it. I love spearmint. A lot of people like to put it in their water. I like it, but I kind of just like the citrus oils by themselves, plain. If I want energy, I usually use lemon sassy in the afternoon, but spearmint can be one that people love to use, maybe combine with wild orange in their water. I think that's what my sister uses, and some of you guys do too, probably. But this one's great in the diffuser, or just kind of a quick inhale, or applying it topically is another great way to use that one. Let's see. Okay, I think that was all. I wanted to make sure I didn't forget anything. I have all these products sitting over here, but hopefully that helps you guys. You know, I just feel like this is such a great topic to kind of explore more in. And okay, I'm about to get off, Caroline, so you can jump right back on and watch the recording. But before I get off, I wanted to mention the giveaway and answer any questions. I'll stay on if you guys have any questions. You go ahead and post those. If you're on live, comment and say I'm in, or I did that last time. I'm so used to people wanting to be in this group. I'm losing my mind. Comment and say I'm here, and I will go back and pick a winner for a bottle of NiDO2 Max. So some lucky person will get to try this out and experience the great effects of increased energy. So if you're on live, please comment and say I'm here. Like I said, I'm gonna extend it to 10:30 like I did last time, because people had problems getting on last time as well. So I'm gonna have to research this. If anybody knows anything that I can do so that Facebook is nice to me next time and nice to us, please comment and let me know. But yeah, comment to say that you're here if you're on live, and I'll put you in the drawing, and I'll pick a winner around 10:30 tonight and post. So I hope you guys enjoyed the class. I'm excited to keep learning. Let's see what our next class is Thursday, and it's the Busy Moms class. So definitely am excited to share with you guys some ways that you can incorporate your essential oils as a busy mom, because a lot of people think I'm too busy to do all this stuff, and I don't really know if I want to kind of just do one more thing, right? What mom needs to do one more thing? But I will tell you how I have seen my life be so much simplified and just so much of a better quality, and why we need to take care of ourselves as busy moms. So I'm going to cover all of that Thursday. So join me at 8:30, and hopefully we won't have issues with a connection. I'm going to start praying now and try to figure something out. But again, I apologize for that. But I'm excited that all of you are on, and that you're watching the recording if you're doing that. So I will see you guys Thursday. If you want to add anybody to this group, if you feel like they would benefit, please feel free to do that and tag them in this video. See you guys Thursday.